Hello everyone, and welcome to History in Depth. Today, we're going on an incredible journey. A journey farther back than any civilization, farther back than the dinosaurs, and even farther back than the Earth itself. We're traveling back 13.8 billion years to the moment when everything began. This is the story of the birth of the universe. The Big Bang. About 13.8 billion years ago, the universe as we know it came into existence. When most people hear the term Big Bang, they imagine a giant explosion in empty space. But that's not exactly what happened. The Big Bang was not an explosion inside space. It was the rapid expansion of space itself. At the very beginning, all the matter and energy in the observable universe existed in an incredibly hot and dense state. The conditions were so extreme that the laws of physics we use today cannot fully describe them. Then, in a tiny fraction of a second, the universe began expanding at an astonishing rate. Scientists call this period cosmic inflation. During this brief moment, the universe grew from an unimaginably small size to something vastly larger. As space expanded, temperatures began to drop. The universe was still unimaginably hot, but it was cooling. And as it cooled, something extraordinary happened. Energy began transforming into matter. Tiny particles appeared, quarks, electrons, and many other fundamental particles. These tiny building blocks would eventually form stars, planets, oceans, and even living creatures. The foundation of everything around us had been created. The journey from pure energy to matter had begun. The first atoms. The universe continued expanding, and as it expanded, it continued cooling. Within the first few minutes, protons and neutrons joined together. They formed the nuclei of the first elements. Hydrogen appeared. Helium appeared. Small amounts of lithium appeared as well. These were the first chemical elements in the history of the universe. But the universe was still far too hot for atoms to exist. For hundreds of thousands of years, space was filled with a glowing sea of charged particles. Light could not travel freely. Every photon constantly collided with surrounding particles. The universe was like a thick cosmic fog. Then, around 380,000 years after the Big Bang, a major turning point arrived. The universe cooled enough for electrons to combine with atomic nuclei. The first stable atoms formed. And suddenly, light was free. For the first time, light could travel across the universe without being trapped. The universe became transparent. That ancient light still exists today. Scientists detect it as the cosmic microwave background radiation. It is often called the oldest light in the universe. In many ways, it is a snapshot of the infant cosmos, a message sent billions of years ago that we can still observe today. The first stars. After the first atoms formed, the universe entered a period known as the Cosmic Dark Ages. There were no stars. No galaxies, no planets, only vast clouds of hydrogen and helium drifting through space. For millions of years, gravity quietly shaped the universe. Tiny differences in density became larger over time. Some regions gathered more matter than others. Slowly, enormous clouds of gas began collapsing under their own gravity. As they collapsed, temperatures increased, pressure increased, and eventually, deep within these clouds, nuclear fusion ignited. The first stars were born. For the first time, light pierced the darkness. These early stars were giants. Many were much larger than our sun. They burned hotter, they shined brighter, and they lived much shorter lives. Inside their cores, new elements were created. Carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, iron, the ingredients needed for planets and life. When these giant stars reached the end of their lives, they exploded in spectacular supernovae. Those explosions scattered heavy elements across space. Everything around us traces its origins to these ancient stars. The iron in your blood, the oxygen you breathe, the calcium in your bones. All of it was forged inside stars billions of years ago. In a very real sense, we are made from star material. Galaxies and the Milky Way. The universe continued evolving. Stars gathered together under the pull of gravity. Small groups became larger groups. Large groups became galaxies. Over time, countless galaxies formed throughout the cosmos. Some developed beautiful spiral shapes. Others became giant elliptical systems. Many collided and merged with one another. Today, astronomers estimate that the observable universe contains hundreds of billions of galaxies. Each galaxy contains enormous numbers of stars. Among them is our home galaxy, the Milky Way. The Milky Way began forming more than 13 billion years ago. Over billions of years, it grew larger through mergers and the continual birth of new stars. Today, it stretches roughly 100,000 light-years across. Its spiral arms contain hundreds of billions of stars. One of those stars would eventually become very important to our story. A star we call the Sun. But first, billions of years still had to pass. The birth of the solar system. About 4.6 billion years ago, a giant cloud of gas and dust drifted through the Milky Way. Something disturbed the cloud. Perhaps it was the shockwave from a nearby supernova. Gravity began pulling the material inward. As the cloud collapsed, it started spinning faster and faster. Eventually, it flattened into a giant rotating disk. Most of the material collected at the center. Temperatures rose. Pressure increased. And finally, nuclear fusion began. The Sun was born. Around the young Sun, the remaining gas and dust continued orbiting. Tiny particles collided and stuck together. Small grains became rocks. Rocks became larger bodies. Larger bodies became planetesimals. And planetesimals became planets. Over millions of years, the solar system slowly took shape. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and the giant planets beyond. Among them was one small rocky world orbiting at just the right distance from the Sun. A world that would eventually develop oceans, continents, and life. A world that would become home to humanity. That world was Earth. From a tiny beginning emerged a universe of unimaginable size. Stars lit the darkness. Galaxies filled the cosmos. Planets formed around distant suns. And on one small planet, the conditions for life were beginning to appear. But our story is only getting started. In the next episode, we'll explore the violent birth of Earth and discover how a lifeless world became the cradle of life. If you liked this video, hit that like button. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to subscribe and join us as we continue exploring the story of our universe. This is History in Depth, and we'll see you in the next video.